Man, you guys missed, I think, a good class. We had a great class this year. Almost 130 people there. It was a good class. Dan the man came there and gave a little talk, and everybody was able to talk with Dan, and we had a lot of fun. Good morning. How are you all? Well, we're just now getting our act together after a long week, so we appreciate all of you. We appreciate all of you guys that showed up. I've always enjoyed our classes, and this is the biggest one we've allowed ourselves to have, and it turned out well. You all were very great. It's really fun to have a class with very spiritual people. I've had all types of classes through the years, and the classes go best when you're full of spiritual people that like that side of life as well. So most of you are just incredible, and I'm so humbled with all the beautiful gifts. Kristen with the beautiful Buddha gave me a little Buddha, and this is a young lady that was bleeding in her kidneys, and now she's getting herself back to life again. No one could help her. And thank you, Shaman Man, for the crystal, the beautiful crystal. And so we had a lot of fun talking God and health and stuff, and so it was a fun thing. In the meantime, when you have the positive energies going, you always have the negative energies. And so I've been informed of this magical hummingbird thing. So to you, magic hummingbird, you lost your magic, dear one. This is what happened to yourself on the way to God, honey. You got lost, did you? That's ego. And this is a good lesson. You actually show us all a good lesson of what not to get involved in, and that's the id. I know you're a Wiccan, but you don't use the ego. And this is the thing. We don't mind people putting their opinions on animal meat and glandulars and stuff like that. We really don't. But there's concepts of people of purity out there that are really false concepts. They don't understand God from a higher order above creation, and what is creation really. They're too involved in creation. And someone that gets too involved in creation loses their spirituality, and then their ego starts getting accentuated. And this is what you see here, where the ego of Miss Hummingbird is out of line. So she needs to drop her magical part of that, because she lost the magic of God. God doesn't care. Let me tell you, it is all things. If you, from one perspective, to kill anything is to kill God. But then you believe in killing and death, see? I believe in that torture and suffering is at the core of everything that needs to be corrected. But if you take a look at nature, you'll find a very violent essence going on in nature. As beautiful as it is that much violent. So, your concepts are wrong. And slandering me and my spirituality is saddening should be saddening to yourself, because you just cut yourself down. I know who I am. You can't affect my relationship with God. And the fact that I'm a God man, you can't do a thing about it. Unfortunately, you just brought yourself down. That's a good lesson for all of us, And so, too bad you had to get kicked off the Facebook. That's what being a butt does. The Facebook people are a bunch of good, solid people trying to get well. But it offers you guys an incredible chance to articulate your side. But also not to get too involved in the negative forces, because that's what they want to do. They want to pull you in and argue. They want to pull you into their side until they own you. And this is the part about always being in the now and full of joy and love. And get away from opinions and judgments. This is the old judge me not type of thing, And you see this a lot in religions. Religions have a lot of judgments, if you notice that. Spirituality has no judgment, because it sees all life as one. So you see Miss Magical Hummingbird lost her spirituality because she lost the sight that all things are one. She might have never had higher experiences. Who knows? In that way. So it's a good experience for everyone on the site, because this is a good solid site of love and spirituality and health and wellness. And the main focus of this site is health and awareness and wellness. So it's a sad thing we get these kind of people out there, but they get hooked and focused for the negative forces, and then they become disruptive for the negative forces. It's just part of life. you know. But it's still a sad thing to see some beautiful souls get trapped like that and then try to destroy the world in that way. This is the problem, the hummingbirds of the world, where they're judging each other and one's better than another and things like that. Opinions are one thing, but you carried it too far, hummingbird. You lowered yourself to pretty low there. So I would definitely go out in the woods and get some Wiccan meditation going there and try to get your life more balanced and full of love and joy, sweetheart. And you have to look at life a little more from a higher perspective instead of getting trapped in like your everything is sacred and that. Creation is here today and gone tomorrow, dear one. Has nothing to do with reality, but it sure can lose you. All right, now I'm going to try to catch up on some of these posts we've had. Appreciate you bearing in there with me. It's really difficult to be able to answer all your questions there. I don't even have time to look at them ahead of time, so I apologize. But life's pretty busy, and I trust all our Facebook healers to get themselves up and going. Those that came to the class, now we've pounded that into you, and we had a lot of fun doing it, didn't we? So let's go out and link together and get this world cleaned up and help those people that want it. And those people that don't, that's okay. Let the hummingbirds of the world fly off and do their things. You know, I suspect within 30 to 45 days might be a little experience coming that way that kind of homes the ego for her. But we'll see. We'll see what happens there. You know how God works, don't we? Yeah. All right, this is no hip replacement for my mom in Germany. Dear Dr. Morris, I just need a brief answer to one question. Have you had any success in reversing arthritis in hips, regenerating hip joints? Absolutely. Oh, no, that's a done deal. But if you get on bone and you're going through a lot of suffering and you're elderly, you might want to get a replacement because it's going to be a long while to rebuild bone on bone and where you're getting destructive tissue like that. And just in an older person, they got a lot of work ahead of them. You see how much work, and I think a lot of you are beginning to see how much work there is. By the way, I think this is James's 37th day on a 40-day grape fast. And there was someone at the class was already in the 40-some days of grape fasting. That was excellent stuff. Just excellent work on you guys. It's an incredible bunch of people. I can't say enough about all of you guys, especially those that attended the class. You're just such great souls. I was humbled to be in the presence of all of you guys and what we're going to be witnessing on this planet. I was really excited about that. It was beautiful. My mom, 65. Now, she's only 65, so yeah, I would tear it up before she loses too much tissue there, and the knees and all that. Pain and wear and tear and stiffness. This is what she has. Coaxarthros or something. That's all acidosis. Obviously, pain, acidosis, wear, acidosis, tear, acidosis, stiffness, acidosis. Wow, that was easy. Well, there's only two sides to chemistry. Pick one. This is generally not alkalosis that causes these problems. It's in both hips. So what's happening with her? Yeah, she's losing her kidneys, which is about par for the course around the world. So kidneys and adrenals are at the key of this issue. And even with the steroids of the adrenals probably running low for her, so not much help for her. So I have to get the kidneys and adrenals moving and get those kidneys filtering. And this is what this is showing here. She never sees any MDs and lives a pretty healthy lifestyle. And you can live a pretty healthy lifestyle and just through the advent of your genetics and the earlier parts of your life and your diets, see you later kidneys. And unless you take that extra mile and go deeper to regenerate, you just hold it where you are. So if you went into a raw food diet, you basically could hold that right there and not get well, and you'd be on a raw food diet. Now, this is reversing what you've created. And so that requires a high fruit and berry and melon diet. The more I talked with all of you at the class, you could see those that understood the differences of the salads because they went up into the fruits. And all the testimonies we had of people that when they hit the fruit, they really started to see action and deeper detoxification. And it's an obvious, it's not even a point to argue over. People that argue over just never got up into the higher levels of detox. Those that do, okay, then we have legitimate conversations, and we can articulate what our experiences were. So it's important to, when you're having an articulation or a dictation, that you have it with like-minded people, people that have been on these journeys. And for those that have never been, it makes for good listening material. And hopefully some energy to pull yourself that way. Let me see. She started an all-fruit salad all-night diet 2 days ago. The orthopedist said she needs both hips replaced. This is Kim. I don't know what to say, Kim. I'll say this, that if she's not bone on bone and not in a lot of pain, then she has time to work on this. If she is on bone and in a lot of pain, then you have to make that decision. And either decision that you make, you have to fix the causative factors. And the causative factors is the lymph system and not filtering properly through the kidneys, so you're developing acidosis in these tissues, which is common. The knees go, the hips go, the shoulders go, the elbows go. This is just all acidosis, just classic stuff. But there's a lot more going on inside, too. This is the problem. This acidosis just isn't in her hips. It's all through her. So this is the other thing you have to consider, is that when you're having pain and discomfort and your hips are breaking down, you're actually breaking down tissue all through you in one way or another. This is what people have to understand. This is a systemic problem, not a local problem. It appears to be local because that's where the pain and suffering is currently, but really it's... So anyway, Kim, you definitely tear it up, like with the basic protocols we've been discussing on this site. I'd probably also pop up that parathyroid. I'd take the bones formula three times a day, and I'd probably supplement with some kelp on top of that. That gives you the iodine and more calcium. Popping up the parathyroid gives you parathermal. Make sure the thyroid is good too. If not, pop that up too, because that's calcitonin. Both calcitonin, which is thyroid, and parathormone, which is parathyroid, are responsible for 1, blood level calcium, and 2, calcium and phosphorus bonding, etc., etc., etc. So all of that is just getting these tissues healthy again and getting this lymph system cleaned up, and then we're in pretty good case here. But you have to see how far advanced you are and whether you want to take the time to rebuild those. This is 12041, Sophie. Hi, sweetheart. Hi, Dr. Morris. I am so grateful that my guardian angel, Babe and Earl, guided me. Babe and Earl, I can't imagine what day this is on her juice fast. What, 300th day or something, or climbing up toward the 300th day. Just totally honorable that she's just knocking it out of the ballpark there. That's good self-discipline. I lack that nowadays over what I used to have. But incredible to you. I just, as I get older, just keep absorbing into God. An old Sufi name, God absorption. A good thing to do. Absorb yourself into God. If you want to leave in this lifetime and sew up your affairs and not journey back to this level, and you want to get as high as you can into the heavens, then you have to stop creating. And we talked about that at the class a lot, that you have to stop creating in this universe and pull yourself back to the Godhead again. And that means absorption back into who you are, which is the Godhead again. I just brought the Detox Kit 1 or 2 for myself yesterday, along with the Heal All Tea and God's Blend. I would like to start my kids on the herbs too. My daughter, 9, has a stuffy nose from fall to spring. Well, again, there we go. She's really congested, and the sinuses, definitely clean her out, because it's no fun. And what all that leads to in terms of suppression of taste and hearing and smell, but also motor and cognizant skills. All these things can be interrupted when you get too congested up there. So you'd want to clean their bowels a little bit and get, with the younger children, you can use like lymphatic 1 liquid, kidney 1 liquid, endocrine glands, parasite M, stomach and bowel. That gives you 5 good formulas there. Parasite M just for about a month, clean up the fungus and stuff out of them, and then you can bring them off of that one. And, go by weight on the bottles here, and you can go after that. She's constipated, has a fissure already. All right, so, and, go by weight on the bottles here, and you can go after that. She's constipated, has a fissure already. All right, so you would want to use number 2 or 3 on her. stomach and bowel number 2 or 3, and get her moving. Get her off of all dairy, you know that's for sure. I mean, you can't get ahead of this if you're consuming dairy products. Our son 5 gets skin rashes. Okay, so we got again, back to the kidneys and adrenals. So you got to get those moving there to stop these skin rashes. It shows just, again, systemic lymphatic constipation, and you just want to go after this. The same with each child, the same with each adult, just different stages, different levels. Sometimes there's a lot going on, you have to pick it up. Sometimes it looks like eczema. Well, it doesn't matter, you know, what you want to call it. It is still lymphatic trash, acids coming out the skin, and you can avert that by getting this little young man's adrenals and kidneys. He's only 5 years old, so you would just do a few drops of lymphatic 1, a few drops of kidney. I would do the endocrine glands too, and then do some parasite in maybe a little bit, but those 3 would be good on that young man, and make sure he's pooping good and stuff like that. It's never the same. He's also been having ear infections. To see here, you really got to detoxify your children. Be prepared, though, that they are going to detoxify, so you're going to have some healing crisis here, and they're going to get worse before better. You're going to see a lot more mucus and stuff coming out the sinuses, which is what you want. You know, these poor children, these medical doctors, they don't know how to detoxify, so they just punch holes in eyes and ears and everywhere else. Well, that's an idea. Should I start them all on the herbs and the detox kit? Sure. But, you know, you use small dosages. You get with Jennifer on the 5-year-old, but maybe 5 or 6 drops is maybe all you need for the 5-year-old. 9-year-old, you can go on up to a quarter of a drop or full probably. Take a look at that by weight, of course. Lemon juice fasting. Oh, the incredibly JY. Hey, man. I can't thank you enough. Oh, incredible. Oh, thanks. I appreciate that. We really try, you know, to help people, and I think a lot of you getting a good sense of who we are. We've had you in the lobby yesterday and stuff, and so you get a good sense of who we are, what type of people we are, where our heart is, and I think you get a good sense of that. Appreciate that, and it takes one to know one. That's why you're all such beautiful people. It takes one to know one, and you all don't get caught up with the hummingbirds of the world. You know, they're there to pull you down. They've lost their way, and so they pull you down. It's one thing to have an opinion, but you can't cram it down other people's throat. That's not nice. That's showing a lack of spirituality and egotism, because what purpose did it serve for you? But it got you booted off and exposed your ego in front of the world. It's just not a pleasant thing for yourself. You can't hurt the spiritual people. They're already God people. You can't influence that. And I forgot that those that eat meat can't experience God. Oh, wait a minute. Those that are not Christian cannot experience God. Those that are not Hindu cannot experience God. Although you don't see that in that religion much, to be honest with you. Not like more of the religions. Islam the same way. You're an infidel if you're not. You know, all this crap. You know, everybody's got to drop these religious crap type thinkings, because the judgment against each other is just not in the world the way it should be right now. Those people that feel that way will be eons before they get out of this level. So all of you around the world, open your hearts and love each other for the fact that we're all part of God. We're all part of the one, no matter what, and enjoy our differences. I think the differences of each of us are fascinating. I love it. Remember, there's not 2 blades of grass the same. God is totally individual. So there's all types of individuals, yet one. How interesting, right? Thanks for all your comments there, my friend. I appreciate that. Thanks. I appreciate that. So I really thank you, my man. Takes one to know one. I had a few questions regarding the lemon juice fast outlined in your book, as I'm attempting to work on my way up to a 40-day. Wow, lemon juice fast. That's a butt kicker, man. In the near future. I think it might be valuable to many of your subscribers to have a deeper understanding of the differences between your cleanse and the master cleanse. It's the same. You know, so Stanley Burroughs, although the lemon juice fast, I think he just took it and added a little cayenne pepper and a little maple syrup or whatever you want to add to it. That was more his. I don't really care. I don't like so much the cayenne pepper, and I don't need much maple syrup or any sweetener in lemon juice. I don't like it too tart, but I don't have to deal with it in that way. So any way you want to do it. Cutting with the sugars definitely cuts the tartness out of it and can make you go longer. You know, a long-term lemon juice fast is very, very astringent. So you just have to remember that and not get caught up in that. If you feel like you have to pull off a long fast with lemons, I would. But try the grape first. Try a 40-day grape fast. That's a kick better too. But I don't see any differences. And really, there's no rules of the road out there in terms of these juices and what you're doing. It's just whatever you come up with. You know, Dan the man's always playing and coming up with different juices. I mean, it's just what you do. You know, you just play with it like a chemist in a lab, but you're using natural things and you're not isolating chemistry. A big difference. So really, just play as you will. You can use stevia, agave, whatever you want in that. The problem with maple syrup is that to get maple syrup, the sap has to be super cooked. So really, nutritively, you don't have a lot, just complex chemistry. So I'm not really, I mean, I like the taste of maple syrup, but tell you the truth, there are some Amish friends of mine that through the maple process, you know, you have a lot of water left over. And they sell that maple water. Ooh, that's good. And very nutritious. Very good stuff. Real smart Amish man. Very, very intelligent man. Amazing. John Kime's brother. Just FYI, I am currently on the herbal protocol to treat chronic illness. 10 years as per your direction after interpreting my irises. Oh, cool. Cool, man. You're a go-getter. Fantastic. 1. Should one consider the morning saltwater flush the master cleanser utilizes to help continue to flush out the bowels? I just really don't get into that. If you want to, okay. I'm real careful with too much salt. If you're going to use the salt, obviously you know to use a Himalayan or Celtic or real salt. But, okay. You know, it's okay. I wouldn't get too much of the sodium chloride type stuff, but, you know, that's okay. I tend to get somewhat constipated. Yeah, and you would too. You know, I think Mutt was using these stomach and bowel formulas, and he was still getting stuff out in his 20th some day. But shortly after that, it stopped, you know. So there's a time where you won't get anything out, but you can still get stool out, you know, up into the 15th, 20th day if you use a bowel cleaner. Or like number 3 like that, absolutely. Can one incorporate the GI broom into the lemon juice fast cleanse? I mean, you could. You definitely could, and there's enough herbs in there to keep you moving in there. So, but if you were going to do another type of clay where you didn't have the movers in there, that's another thing, is you just don't want to get constipated with clays, because that has a tendency to lock. And that's the only thing that I'm real cautious with clays, like bentonite and charcoal. You want to be careful. It's not fun to get impacted with those clays. I'm here to tell you. And you don't want to have surgery to get impacted. So just being cautious is a good idea there. Don't know what to say about the GI broom. I've never done that, but be interesting. But you want to make sure your bowels are moving always. And that's why the GI broom is a mover as well. Just can't afford to have people having, locked bowels and stuff. But it's an interesting thought. You guys are definitely terror-upper people. I'll tell you what. You guys, I just love you guys, and it's fun to watch all you guys tearing it up. I just think I'm humbled, and I just see the beauty of life coming together as one, and it's just incredible. And you guys are just really tearing up the pavement. Much more than I did, I think, in those ways. I mean, I became a fruitarian, then a mono eater for 6 months, but I mean, you guys are really, really tearing it up in other ways. I don't think I ever did the lemon juice fast before the 6 months. I did later on as I learned about it, and then I went almost 30 days on it. But I couldn't get, I think I did 29, I think. I think Mutt did 27. Some of the guys, around the upper 20s, you start getting really limited out. A lot of lemon. It's just a lot of strong power there. So 40, and some of you just kicked butt, really went right on around me. And I love that. I think that's the idea here, is that you shall do better things than I, right? That's exactly right. And doesn't hurt my feelings. I'm proud of you all, actually. Okay, I tend to get quite a bit of bloating as well as when on the lemon cleanse. Try the grapes then, man, first. Clean your body up a little bit first. The lemon juice is a pretty strong fast, actually, so you might want to start the grape fast and do that first and break yourself out there. One of our New Zealand YouTubers are sitting in for a week here getting his clinicals. I tend to get quite a bit of, let me see here, been releasing fast enough to alleviate the resulting edema, but would you have any suggestions or adjustments to might help that? Well, you always keep your bowels moving for sure, really pulling on that bowel wall, it sounds like. And if you get a little edemic with it, it shows you how acidic you are. I don't know what your eyes look like, Jeremy, but I certainly would probably do the grape fast first. And thank you, my friend, for viewing this and your comments. I like appreciate the comments. It feeds us and keeps us going because, you know, this is an insane level of thinking when you're dealing with humans and their suffering. And they're just, it's not a surface suffering nowadays. We have some very deep problems, and I think the class got a good example of that in class. So, dear Robert, would juicing my fresh wild greens, but swallowing some of the fiber be like taking some encapsulators? Yeah, sure. And that they both have physical bulk? Yep. Would just some fiber be more drawing in the intestines? No. I think that's a good way of putting it. You know, and swallowing some pulp. Yeah, I think that's a good way. Rather than just juice, one might be more than a tincture. Well, I mean, when you're juicing fresh greens and stuff up like that, it's pretty powerful. So I like the raw the best. These herbs are meant to, and it's funny, is, you know, we talk about cooking and how it coagulates and breaks apart chemistry, but my God, look at the Hill tea. You can cook that thing and it still has a very powerful medicinal value. We've seen people on the cooked tea, you know, clean these cancerous tumors and stuff right out of them, and it's like, wow. That's pretty cool. That's how powerful God is. You can cook it and it still comes at you. Amazing. Oh, you know what I mean? Wondering what you have to say on this. Yeah, I think you're right, dear one. I think that, you know, that's a pretty good idea. Absolutely. All these things are fun, you know. Paving the way into the unknown. I love that. You know, we need to expose this and you guys are just really responsible for helping to explode this around the world. We've been working for years behind the scenes creating all these little lights everywhere. Now we're creating a lot more lights and tying everybody together. It ought to be real fun. But as you see, the negative forces don't like us very well. Kind of disturb the negative side of life. Too bad. 303, hi sweetheart, how you doing? Hi, Dr. Morse, number 115.3, partly answered a question I hadn't asked you yet. Oh, well. Yeah, I love you too, dear one. Above things we can do to lessen the chances of having to come back to an earthly life again. And absolutely, you know, you can't create a whole bunch of things and not take responsibility for it because that's the illusion. That's why karma has to be understood by all of man. And once a karma is understood, and it isn't foreign to Christians, keep in mind, Jesus said you reap what you sow. Buddha had his ways. Everybody has their ways. And it's simply saying that what you put out, you get back. But think about this in another way, than the fact that what you create, you have to take responsibility for. No one else is. And some of these pseudo-masters might tell you that, but I can only tell you that you have to walk the road yourself. And so that's about living in the now and quit creating. Just let the hand of God, figuratively speaking, guide you. And just be a channel. And when you need it, it's there. When you don't, you can always be in the now. Just put that budding mind to the side, and it'll be there when you need it, and you'll be able to stay in ecstasy while you need it. So it's just great to prepare yourself and absorb yourself deeper into the world of God, whatever that means to you. Even if it's just pure energy to you, pure consciousness or awareness, whatever the infinite being is to you, absorb into that. But just simply be more now. If you have no concepts, don't use concepts. Just be more now. Be in the moment now. Be more now, more now, more now. Surrender. Be. Don't let anything stop. No thought, no ego, no nothing. Just be in that ever-presence of the moment. And very expansive. Just be more now. Be in the moment now. Be more now, more now, more now. Surrender. Be. Don't let anything stop. No thought, no ego, no nothing. Just be in that ever-presence of the moment. And very expansive. And just let everything go. Let everything work through you. Let your emotions go. And that's part of meditation. In meditation, let everything work through you. Let everything go. And and then surrender to yourself. It's yourself you're trying to get to. That's the heart of God. And so you've got to get to the real self. Well, the real self isn't based in images or idealisms or thought forms. It goes way beyond that. It's the thinker of the thought, the doer of the action. Let me see about things. Okay, come back to the earth. I really preferred not to. Yeah, I know a lot of you are there. I know you. Don't forget. I know you guys. Besides trying to always live in the now and avoid creating, what other things can we do? Just give love to all things. Help all things. So that if you are creating karma, it's good stuff. But even the good stuff, you still have to take responsibility for. That's the problem. Bad or good is just the opposite sides of the same coin. And that's all creation. Good stuff, bad stuff. But a lot of the bad stuff is just labeled bad because we don't like it and its effect. I'll say, if I was going to use the word negative, it would be that which pulls one down and limits one and isolates one more. That which is expansive and glorious and nirvanic is the positive side. However, it's still about you. It's all about you, and who are you really? This question is, Glenn, if you can name one herb or drink that alkalizes the body, what would that be? Oh, whoa, whoa. Is our friend here?
Yeah.
Yeah, he can come in if he wants to sit in.
Okay.
Yeah, he can say hi on the YouTube. It's a young YouTuber from New Zealand sitting in a week. Careful, ladies. This guy's a little bit of a good-looking dude. Come on in, my friend. Would you say hi to the YouTube group? Come on over.
Kia ora, people.
Yes.
I'm Rohan from New Zealand.
Rohan from New Zealand. What's your name on the...
Rohan Supertramp.
Ah, man. Do you have fun at the class?
The class was amazing. It's like, imagine if you can being a fish and you've been stuck on land all your life and then suddenly you get thrown into water, right?
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
That's what it feels like.
We had a lot of fun.
Yeah, being around the people. I mean, Dr. Morris brings out the best people from all around the world, so when you're there, just soul brothers, soul sisters.
Yeah. It's a buzz, isn't it? I love that.
Incredible.
Yeah, it is. It is a buzz. But that's what we want. We want to buzz the world, don't we? We want to buzz them with joy and excitement. At the same time, we want them to get healthy. So it's good. Well, I'm just going over some of their questions here, so if you want to hang in here, we'll just go over some more questions. I only have about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I thought we would do that, you know. This question is, do they make an affordable iris camera? You might be able to get a used one. I have one here that's brand new. It's $1,800. It's only $3,500, but it's the Jensen camera if you're interested in it, you know. But I always think cameras are not that expensive. You know, you can get someone like me selling one because it's been just sitting around here. But a nurse had bought that, an RN, and she wanted to get into the eye work, but then she was retiring and she decided not to do it. But
there's the little computer one that you showed us?
Yeah, there's a little handheld one. No, that's another one. I'm keeping that one for babies, but the company, I'll have to introduce that maybe tomorrow and show them that because the company's giving deals on that. You can probably get that one for $400 and some bucks. And it's just it plugs into the computer, handheld, good for eyes like that. Mm-hmm. But that's the cat's meow and photographs. And it's just so good, you know. And I think every iridologist should invest in a little bit of money. It makes such a lot of difference, and it makes you definitely appear and be more accurate with yourself as a professional. You know, some people go out there with these things and flashlights. Well, that's okay if you're not really trying to set up a practice and really see people. But I don't like to be in people's face. Oh, it's my breath. You know, that sort of thing. So it's so much better to have the picture because then both of you can refer to that for the rest of your life. You have that picture. But there's some cool cameras out there from Europe and stuff. Now, this is from Organic Superman. Are not the Chinese herbs, Cyclops prepared, Romania prepared, He Shu Wu. I don't even know how you pronounce that one. Ikumo bark, morinda root, extremely nourishing to the kidneys. Yeah, absolutely. Romania, though, is more for the liver, but absolutely. Cordyceps, really more for the immune system, and more mushroom thinking that way. Liver here. He Shu Wu, I'm sure that's a kidney one. I don't know about the other ones. Morinda bark. I just haven't spent a lot of times with all the Chinese herbs through the years. I studied them years ago, but I just don't use them so much, because again, I told you guys about the walnuts, where they're, all walnuts spend a day and a half in fumigation chambers and stuff. Well, people are bitching already that I'm using herbs, some herbs from overseas. Well, I try to get them that grows in America because of the fumigation things. So you just don't know, this is the thing is, boy, you try to get as pure and as fresh as you can. I mean, we do our very best. It's tough out there. This is Wendy ND. Wow, I've never heard from her. This is Wendy ND7, Naturopath maybe. Reading conflicting info about strawberries. Some say they inhibit iodine production, while others say they are rich in iodine. This is the problem. We talked about this at class. There's so much concepts and theories and idealisms out there. One says one says something else that really, I tell you, I wouldn't worry about it.
It's a berry.
It's a berry, and I don't think it would inhibit iodine whatsoever. I doubt if it has that kind. And this is what chemistry is getting into. I just don't see that, Maybe a pesticide might. Talking about strawberries is the pesticides. They need to be organic, or you just don't want to bother with them, because anything that has the ability to take in pesticides deep into its structure, kind of want to be careful with that. I would definitely want organic only.
Even just for the flavor.
Yeah.
And non-organic strawberry.
I know, just especially for the flavor, man. I know. I am hypothyroid, and still the past couple of weeks is probably consuming 2+ cups of strawberries in my smoothies every day. Thoughts? I think you're doing good, and I think strawberry in a smoothie sounds really good right now. I couldn't even have watermelon this morning. I had to walk the dog, and I wanted to come down here and film this because of this magical hummingbird crap. I mean, it's sad that people have to lose their way, but that's the way it happens, and some of you probably will too. But we're all trying to help and keep each other strong and stable, and this is important, because you saw the bonding of the class was so powerful and good. And this is what we want with all of YouTubers, thousands of us, strong, bonded, wielding the God force, and putting those negative forces back, and bringing the light and love in the world. And I think this is really the best thing you could ever do in your entire life. There's nothing like it. A warrior for the Supreme Being, coming down and making things right again. Just a thought.
I like the sound.
I like the thought, don't you? How does the ear candle treatment work? Anybody know? Yeah, it's a simple thing. Little wax candle. They're about that long. Yeah. You have to light the end of it. There's a point on it, sticks down in the ear. You put it through a paper plate, put a hole in a paper plate, stick the candle through the paper plate, and then you light the end of it. It won't be burning like this, but it slowly burns down and heats and pulls. And then the paper plate's where all the stuff fall down from the candle of it. But boy, good thing to do. Would definitely do about 3 candles per ears. I heard in Canada, some of our brothers at the seminar said that they outlawed ear candling in Canada. Canada, my God, you governments. What do you got, constipation? I mean, ear candles, for God's sakes. There's nothing more simpler and easier, and all these earaches and everything. Come on. Isn't that amazing? Naturopath in Canada can't sell ear candles or use them. And it's like, what? This is just a bunch of crap with these governments. They're all falling to the negative forces, and then the people suffer. Oh, here's Far Above Rubies. Look at that. Isn't she got a beautiful smile? And look at that name, Far Above Rubies.
She is a cutie.
Isn't she? And the visions of rubies and jewels. I think of some of our out-of-body experiences. And we had some avid out-of-body travelers in the group there. It was fun. And so you can visit these worlds of jewels. And when I was thinking of color, and at the time my master took me to this place, and the flowers were like jewels, emanating colors. We were kind of going over the landscape. The trees were like emanate like jewel, like the leaves were like jewels, and they were like emanating these unreal colors. And it was like ecstasy. Just I don't know, it had to be in the astral world, I suppose. I don't know where it was, but it was just so incredible. It was, and then I started dreaming, and I started recognizing color as a male. Males don't generally recognize color, you know, but and I never thought of that. I was a male. And then I started thinking in colors, and boy, that changed my whole life, and thinking and observing colors. Men tend to...
Talking about dreams.
Yep, talking about dreams. Yeah.
We were there last night.
Oh, yeah. I told him I would be with him last night, and...
I forgot about it until about midnight.
Did you?
I was like, oh my God, better get to sleep. And it was cool.
Yeah, I try my best, you know. Is there hope for a friend who had all the lymph nodes removed from the left side of his neck due to tongue cancer? Holy crap. Just what we were talking about. Remove lymph nodes and be able to move lymph on the other side of that. I don't know, sweetheart. The only way you're going to tell is continue to move lymph with him and use the lymph formulas and the astringent fruits and stuff. And he doesn't get any swelling, we're in good shape. But can't guarantee something like that. It was, I had some pictures there we showed you of people that were pretty, you know, had lymph nodes removed in the
We
head.
had the lady in yesterday.
And the lady,
the lymph nodes
exactly,
removed
moved
from the
right
breast.
there, and we don't know yet because they kept her breast and had the lymph nodes removed. Now, that could be a problem for her in that she still got the breast. She might have to come along someday and have the breast removed because there's no drainage, or maybe she can rebuild the lymph nodes. I mean, these are kind of the things that all of us together are working toward seeing at the levels we can promote and the levels we can do here. Now look at the time. It doesn't take a lot of time, and it's just out of the time, eh? We'll do one more. This is a comment on your videos. Let's see. Hey, Doc, this is at DTH 3545. This vid was the last one in the marathon since Monday the 9th, catching up since March 3rd. Well, I'm a little behind too, so I don't feel bad, honey. Wow, you are kicking butt. Oh, thanks. Wow, we tried, don't we? I think you are helping me change my consciousness spiritually.
Amen.
Amen. Amen. That's our goal.
That's the one thing that happens, right? People get on the raw, and it just...
I love that. I love that. And you get those that get a little mutated and out of balance, okay, and we just have to help them get into balance there, or they have to go out and get a little butt kicking going on before balance comes in. The problem is, you know, you can't get away from the butt kicking because your own attitude pulls it to you. You know, that's what I'm saying. I don't have any attitude, no judgment here, because watch what comes, and you get your butt kicked. I just want to thank you for that. Now I need to get off the couch and get some fresh fruit because I keep starting on the bananas. I was staring at the bananas and that mango on your desk. Where is all our food? Yeah. All right, my friends. Sherry, what? You're back with us. Someone asked me about calling the clinic. My reply, they don't know what to EFF they are talking about. One call...
They don't know what the F they're talking about.
Yeah, oh yeah, I don't like to read that. I could be dead by now. I made a mistake taking detox without actually seeing a doctor. This is like an old one from Sherry Watts. Surely this is not a new post by Sherry. I talked to her in hospital. She's supposed to be a chiropractor. She works with a lot of fear being a chiropractor. I don't think she's a true chiropractor because you don't walk with this kind of fear with a chiropractor. And to use this kind of language as a professional is just not proper, If she's not familiar with detoxing, I would get familiar. Chiropractors should all be familiar since you're more in our field than their field, but this lady sounds like she's more in their field than our field. Proper, If she's not familiar with detoxing, I would get familiar. Chiropractors should all be familiar since you're more in our field than their field, but this lady sounds like she's more in their field than our field. It's just the fear-based people have here. This is Lisa Lopez, so sorry to hear that. I do have to agree with you every time I call. Oh, this is old stuff. Has to be old stuff, I hope. Although he just pulled it off the site. But we already answered those kind of questions. This is Hawthorne. You notice this picture? Is this picture?
Someone from New Zealand.
From New Zealand. She gave me this picture, which is this
beautiful.
picture. Isn't that beautiful? And I want to. Did you see that little Buddha from Little Christian? There's a little girl with the kidney bleeding and hawthorn berry syrup. Just a quick note of. Oh yeah, these are old ones somehow. I don't know why I pulled them up here. She blends the hawthorn berries in a blender and then dehydrates them at 105 degrees. Much better way to do all that. But again, we in a world where labs and stuff, we don't have the time to make our stuff for our own, so we trust our different herb companies and Blessed Herbs. It was a personal friend. I trusted him with the keys to the office. This is an old one, but she's from New Zealand. A fellow New
Much
Zealander.
love and big hug from New Zealand. Well, always in the now. I'll do it for you.
From New Zealand. It's direct, and we thank you. We love you guys. Get out there, kick butt, have fun today, and Godspeed. Bye-bye.